Pamir languages, the path to a written tradition. Paper by Dodikhudoeva Leila Rahimovna, Institute of Linguistics, Russian Academy of Sciences, Moscow, Russia. It is known that the use of writing strengthens the position of a language. The presence of writing and written texts enhances the social-linguistic status of the language, and written texts help to preserve the language itself. The presence of a written tradition in Shugnan and Vahan was first documented in the 7th century in the travel notes of the Buddhist monk Xuanzang. Although he noted that the two alphabets were different, he didn't specify their differences. Since then, for a long period, there was no indication of written sources in this region and in these languages. However, there are indications that in the 19th and early 20th century, Shugnani speakers began to write literary and historical notes in their mother tongue. From the early 20th century, medical and historical writings in Shugnani have survived, as well as poetic divans such as the Divan of Mulola Chin, discovered in Barpanja village during the expedition to Afghanistan by the Russian and Tajik Academy of Sciences in 2003 in collaboration with Hushnazar Pamirzod. These records were made mainly on the basis of Arabic script. These works were in the 1920s. The Soviet authorities in Tajikistan initiated a campaign on language planning, and an alphabet based on the Romanized system was created to teach the population in their native Shugnani language. Textbooks and fiction were published using this system in 1930s by Shonavruzov, Iskandarov, Shambizada, Amdinov, and many others. Since the mid-1960s, the Pamir Studies Department of the Rudaki Institute of Language and Literature at the Tajik Academy of Sciences in Dushanbe has begun working under the direction of Professor Dodikhudoeva on collecting materials on Pamir languages and folklore, as well as on documenting the data of these languages and improving the writing systems of Pamir languages. In this department, developed academic and popular scholarly alphabets for all unwritten Pamir languages, such as Shugnani, Roshani, Bartangi, Roshorvi, Ishkashimi, Vahi, based on Russian Tajik Cyrillic script. All the academic works of the members of the department have been published on the basis of these alphabets. In 2013, with the objective of creating drafts of Pamir alphabets, a series of seminars were organized by the Institute of Linguistics of the Russian Academy of Sciences in Moscow and by the Institute of Humanities of the Tajik Academy of Sciences in Kharog in Badakhshan to develop alphabets for all Pamir languages based on the Tajik script with the inclusion of additional letters. This project reached a new stage when books for children in their native languages began to be published in Kharog. Since 2014, Centers for Early Development and Education in Kharog, with the collaboration of Professor Shadikhon Yusufbekov and with international support, began publishing children's books in the Pamir languages. Subsequently, Professor Yusufbekov of the Tajik Academy of Sciences and the staff of the Institute of Linguistics at the Russian Academy of Sciences have collaborated with the Nur Civil Society Organization in Kharog to develop and test alphabets and provide advisory and editorial support for the publication of books in these alphabets. As part of this collaboration between Nur and the two academic institutions, the Tajik Academy of Sciences and Russian Academy of Sciences, a number of alphabets have been prepared. All the volumes published by these public organizations in the Shugnani language use the practical Shugnani alphabet developed by Professor Yusufbekov, indicated at the beginning of all their children's books. Publication in other languages are similarly organized. All of them have an alphabet table where each letter is accompanied by a word in the native language and its translation into Tajik and Russian. Several books were published in a rare Yazgulami language under the titles of How to Count in Mother Tongue on Math Skills, or Who Knows, Mother Tongue Riddles, and especially for small children, funny rhymes and phraseology, as well as a parable, a lion and a fox. Another relic, Eshkashimi language, got a set of books. There are several parables, such as a fox and a jackal, a cunning fox and a clever goat, that are already published, as well as folk tale about Mother Goat and her kid. Another set of books for children is ready for publication, indicating Eshkashimi primer with the alphabet, including new approach to the presentation in writing of problematic retroflex sounds. Today, the civil society organizations in Harok, Nur, Nilufar, and others support programs for the publication of children's books in all Pamir languages, as well as bilingual books with a parallel Tajik, Russian, and English texts. New formats are constantly being introduced. For example, in 2018, under the auspices of the Pamir Handicraft Project, a collection was published representing 2 Pamir tales in 6 languages, Shugnani, Russian, Tajik, English, and Kyrgyz, and also featuring the Shugnani alphabet developed by Shidihon Yusufbekov. A variant of the Vahi alphabet based on the Romanized script, which began to be developed by Lashkarbekov back in 1970s, was trialed in Pakistan in 2011 and accepted by the Pakistani community. Today, Professor Yusufbekov has pointed out the function of the Pamir languages have expanded. This was first stressed in the resolution of the meeting of the Foundation of Endangered Languages in 2009, and the process is in progress. The formation of a written verbal tradition is underway, and Pamir language works of art, poetry, and prose, along with the educational, methodological, and scientific literature, are appearing. The emergence of literature has marked a new stage in the development of the literary style of Pamir languages, contributing to the formation of the literary languages. This process is realized in full in the Shugnani language, where by now a significant corpus of written authored literature has surfaced. Poetry has been enhanced by reference to the epic genre, and the first dramatic works for the stage have appeared, along with the first novel. Bearing witness to this trend, the first novel in Shugnani, If Life Were to Begin Anew, by Huda Bakhshov, was published in 2017. When new channels of communication emerge, we see native speakers using their mother tongue in new areas, such as the media and social network, as a platform for the presentation of written academic texts and prose literature. As evidenced by publication of Abdul Hamidova and Yusufbekov in 2017, the use of Pamir languages has expanded in the public domain. The appearance of scholarly works in the Shugnani language, such as Mokhbilsho Alamshoev's Shugni grammar, as well as collection of poetry and prose, and books in Rushani, Bartangi, Rashori, Vahish, Kashimi, and Yazgulami languages, also testify to the same trend. The beginning of a similar process has also been noted for the Vahi language of Tajikistan, in which authorial verbal activity has become more prominent, supplementing the tales, folklore, and ethnographic texts recorded by Professor Pakhalina and Professors Grunberg and Stiblin-Kamensky. Publications of stories, aphorisms, riddles, etc. for children have appeared all in the period of all last decade, along with the popular scholarly publications by Dinamat Mirzoev, as well as research on the features of oral and written text by Yaroslava Abertelova. Young members of the Pamir diaspora, aware of their cultural identity and living far from home, are making efforts to bring their culture and native language into the circle of languages and cultures known around the world. Thank you.